things get messed up. And the way it gets messed up for Adam and Eve is very similar to the way that it gets messed up for most of us. And so I want to take a look at that real quick. So we go ahead a chapter. It says, "Now the serpent was more crafty than any other beast of the field that the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, 'Did God actually say, you shall not eat of any tree in the garden?' And the woman said to the serpent, 'We may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden, but God said, you shall not eat of the fruit of the tree that is in the midst of the garden, neither shall you touch it, lest you will die.' The serpent said to the woman, 'You surely won't die, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God.'" You will be like God, knowing good and evil. So when the women saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a delight to the eyes, and that the tree was to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit and she ate. And she also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate. And then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves loincloths. And so we would all be running around buck wild naked. Just kidding, that's not the point of the... Check out how crafty the enemy is here. I have read this a million times, but recently I could not get this idea out of my head. That the serpent offers Adam and Eve a chance to be like God. Did you catch that? He said, you can be like God. Hey, that was a good response there, thank you. A chapter earlier, God made Adam and Eve in his likeness. They already are like God. There's already something about them that makes them like God. And yet the serpent comes here and he says, "You will surely not die, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be open and you will be like God." And the correct response from Eve should have been, "Shut up, serpent. I'm already made like God. He already loves me. He's already given me a purpose. I have a relationship with him. You've got nothing to offer me." Now, don't miss this, because this crafty enemy still comes to us and says, "Hey, there's a lot of ways that you can be like God. Why don't you grab hold of this counterfeit version of who you are, and why don't you make this your identity?" And anytime we make something else our identity, we are destined to fail. It will fail us. It will not work out for us. It will create unrealized potential in our lives. It will create stagnant living. It will cause us to get stuck. We will be living in this place where it feels like everybody else has this relationship with God, where they're moving forward, and there's something messed up and wrong about what's going on in our lives. And if we went back to the beginning and said, "I'm going to clear the deck and get rid of anything else that I'm basing my life on other than Jesus Christ, other than the image that God has placed in me, I'm going to grab hold of that thing," then you would see some of that potential start to become reality.